Okay, so when I say artificial intelligence, what's the first image that, pops into your head?
Um, Probably a server farm, right? Something big and sterile.
Right, a server farm, or maybe a sleek self-driving car navigating a city, a chatbot writing a sonnet in like 3 seconds.
Yeah, high-tech stuff.
What I'm guessing you don't picture is a humid, slightly vibrating room in rural Michigan.
Filled with the smell of fabric softener? No.
Exactly. But that is precisely where our deep dive is taking us today. We're looking at a project called AI for
It
Laundromats.
sounds like a joke, but it's completely serious.
It really is. Specifically, we're focused on a living lab called Super Clean Laundry in Lake City, Michigan. And this isn't just about washing clothes, it's about a solopreneur running these experiments to see if they can just fundamentally change how a small business works.
It's a fantastic case study. It really grounds all these huge, lofty AI concepts in day-to-day reality. You have an owner there who's trying to go from what they call manual grip.
Do precision architecture.
Exactly. And I think we need to start there.
I agree, because of that term precision architect. It kept coming up in the source material. It feels like more than just a job title. It's a whole philosophy.
It is. But to get it, you first have to understand the alternative, the reactive operator.
And that's where most small business owners live, right?
Oh, absolutely. They're the ones plunging the toilet at 10 p.m. They're the ones driving to the store because a coin machine jammed. They are constantly putting out fires.
That sounds absolutely exhausting.
It is. It's a trap. You're trading your time for money, but the exchange rate is just terrible because you never actually get to leave work.
So the precision architect is the opposite of that.
Completely.
Mm.
The architect is obsessed with one specific concept, and it actually comes from woodworking. It's called the kerf,
The kerf. How do you spell that?
Kerf.
Yeah, okay. I have no idea what that is.
So in woodworking or laser cutting, the kerf is the tiny bit of material that the blade removes. It's the wood that literally turns into sawdust. It's the gap.
Oh, I see. The waste, the stuff you lose in the process.
Precisely. And in this business model, the kerf is the gap between your labor costs and your automated profit. It's waste.
So every minute the owner spends manually refunding a customer or explaining a rule.
That's kerf. That's sawdust. It's material lost from your business, from your life.
So the goal isn't just to make money, it's to tighten that curve, to make less sawdust.
That's it, exactly. You engineer the business so the system handles the friction, not the human. You're trying to buy your freedom back. And that brings us to the main experiment we're looking at today.
Scenario O2, the washer library.
Right.
And this is the part that really surprised me. For all this talk of AI and architecture, the actual experiment looks, incredibly low tech.
On the surface, yes. A washing machine and a timer.
So what's the setup?
Okay, so SuperClean has a whole sleet of machines. According to their technical blueprint, they've got 14 of the standard 18-pound top loaders.
The workhorses of any laundromat.
Exactly. So for scenarios O2, they take one of those revenue-generating machines and pull it out of the paid loop,
They're making it free.
strictly for free use.
Free laundry. That sounds great, but I have to play devil's advocate. You're running a business, you have overhead, utilities. Why give away your product for free? Is this just, charity?
That's the mission part of it. The owner had this core belief that everybody deserves access to clean laundry, especially for things like job interviews.
Okay.
But, and this is the key, this is where the architect mindset comes in, it is not a free-for-all. They aren't just unlocking the door and hoping for the best.
Right, I saw the parameters in the notes. They are incredibly specific.
Very. The machine is hooked up to a simple automated electric timer. Power is only available from 11:00 to 2:00 p.m.
Money through Friday only.
and strictly off on weekends.
That 3-hour window in the middle of a weekday, that seems kind of inconvenient.
It's strategic inconvenience. Think about it. By placing it in the middle of the workday, you are filtering for the very demographic you're trying to help.
The unemployed or underemployed.
Right. And you also avoid cannibalizing your own business during the weekend rush, when your paying customers are all there fighting for machines.
Okay, that makes sense. You're basically filling dead air. But there's another catch, isn't there? The wash is free.
But the drying is not.
Ah,
This is what they call the economic filter. A 32-minute dry cycle will still cost the user about $2. Plus, they have to bring their own soap.
So it's like a freemium model for getting your clothes clean.
In a way, yeah. And the owner has a hypothesis that this $2 barrier is absolutely essential. First, it prevents total abuse of the system.
Because if you have to pay something, you have some skin in the game.
You treat the facility with more respect. It stops people from trying to wash, greasy car mats or horse blankets in there.
And the second reason?
It recoups the utility costs. The profit from the $2 dry cycle basically pays for the water and electricity used in the free wash cycle.
Okay, but isn't there a risk here? I mean, you're opening your doors for free. The notes mention specific fears about this attracting homeless individuals or the machine just getting trashed.
Those are the anxieties of the reactive operator.
Yeah.
The reactive operator sees a potential problem and just wants to chase it away.
And the precision architect?
The architect sees a variable to be managed
Managed how?
by using the system to solve the problem. The notes ask this really fascinating question. Can this actually increase revenue if the machine is sponsored?
Sponsored, you mean like a little league team?
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
Imagine a local bank or the Rotary Club sponsoring that machine for a month. You put up a little sign, "This free wash cycle is brought to you by Lake City Savings."
Oh, wow. Okay, I see. So the lost revenue from that one machine, it just becomes a fixed sponsorship check every month.
Right. And then those $2 drying fees suddenly become pure profit margin.
You turn a charity case into a sustainable, profitable business unit.
Now you're tightening the curve.
Mm-hmm.
You aren't losing material, you're just re-engineering where the value comes from. It's brilliant.
That is really smart, but it takes a lot of coordination. You have to write those sponsorship letters, make the signs, communicate the rules so people don't get mad when the power cuts off at 2:01 p.m.
And that is where the AI part of AI for laundromats finally comes in.
Because this is a solopreneur, they have a strict, 10-hour weekly time limit for their own input.
Which is wildly low for a physical business.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost impossible if you're doing it all manually.
So let's get into the digital architecture. How does the precision architect manage all this without actually being there?
Well, the first piece of the stack is the AI receptionist, right? They call her Bella or Hey Rosie.
This seems crucial.
It is. It handles 204/7 customer service. So if someone calls at midnight because the free washer ate their quarter, even though it doesn't take quarters, they aren't waking up the owner. They're talking to Bella.
That alone must save hours of stress a week. But I'm more interested in the planning side. The sources mention they use Notebook LM as a creative lab.
This is where the hardware meets the software. The washer is the hardware, but the strategy, the timer settings, the pricing, the sponsorship pitch, that's all software. And they use AI to write it.
Okay, so they have these terms, image architect and prompt architect. I gotta be honest, they sound a little bit like buzzwords. What do they actually do?
It's all about utility. Let's take the image architect first. A standard laundromat owner, what do? They take a blurry photo of a machine with their phone and maybe post it on Facebook.
Sure, I've seen that.
The image architect uses AI prompts to generate these photorealistic, clean tech marketing visuals. The prompts specifically ask for cinematic lighting and 8K resolution.
But why does that matter? It's just a laundromat.
Perception engineering. If you're pitching that sponsorship to a local bank, you don't want to look like a struggling small business. You want to look like a tech-forward community hub. The visuals create this veneer of high-end professionalism. It makes the sponsorship feel more valuable.
It's using AI to punch way above your weight class.
Exactly. And the prompt architect is even more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's about creating reusable intellectual property.
Reusable how?
So after they run scenario 02, they don't just, remember how it went. They extract the specific AI prompts they use to generate the sponsorship letters and the signage and the rules. They call it a master prompt.
So they're packaging the whole experiment.
Yes. Scenario 02 fixed rate washer. They can then share that exact prompt with other laundromat owners. So an owner in Texas or Ohio doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. They just load the master prompt and the AI generates the whole plan for them.
It's democratizing the innovation. That's really cool.
It turns a solitary business, and let's be honest, running a laundromat can be an incredibly lonely job, into a collective data science project. And they share these results weekly in their newsletter, The Lowdown.
And there's an audio version too, the Audio Lab.
Hosted by an AI persona, Nicholas J. Gomez. It's a 5-minute technical briefing. And the script for that AI is hilarious. It explicitly tells the AI to sound energetic, professional, and peer-to-peer.
It's designed to catch owners when they're driving or folding clothes.
It's a perfect feedback loop. Run the experiment, document it with AI, package it as a prompt, and then share it with the community.
And all of this seems to circle back to that core philosophy you mentioned, discipline.
Yeah.
The precision architect is incredibly strict about what they work on.
Oh, yeah. Did you see the forbidden terms list?
I did. I laughed out loud when I saw dollhouse rehab on there.
It sounds funny, but it's deadly serious. The owner has other hobbies, miniatures, fishing, but the precision architect persona walls those off completely.
Why, though?
Because if you start mixing your hobbies with your business, you start treating your business like a hobby. They don't want to be a tinkerer. They want to be a commercial automation expert. When you're talking about dollhouses, you're not talking about profit per cycle.
It's all about focus.
It's about protecting the asset. The business is the machine. The owner is the architect. You don't get down in the gears unless you absolutely have to.
Which brings us right back to that simple timer. That little $15 piece of plastic hooked up to the washer.
The kerf reducer.
It really is. It's just fascinating how such a simple tool, when you combine it with this high-level strategy, completely changes the nature of the whole transaction.
Well, think about what happens without it. A reactive operator decides to be nice one day and sticks a handwritten free wash sign on the machine.
Chaos. Total chaos ensues.
Right. People fight over it. Someone tries to dry their muddy sneakers in a high-end dryer. The owner gets stressed out, drives down to the store, probably yells at someone, and then just shuts the whole thing down in frustration.
And then they say, well, I tried to help, but people are just ungrateful.
Exactly. They burn out. But the precision architect anticipates that friction. They use the data. Scenario O2 isn't just about charity. It's about proving that you can operationalize kindness.
Operationalize kindness. I really like that phrase.
You don't have to be a martyr to do good. You just have to architect the solution so that the system bears the weight, not your own mental health.
It effectively removes the suffering from the act of charity.
And it makes it sustainable. If that machine generates a sponsorship check every single month, that program can run forever. If it relies on the owner's mood, it lasts for a week.
Okay, so we've covered the hardware, the software, the philosophy. What's the big takeaway for someone listening who, doesn't own a laundromat? Because this feels like it applies to more than just dirty socks.
I think it applies to everyone. We all have manual grit in our lives.
The fires we're constantly putting out.
The emails we write over and over again, the scheduling conflicts we always have, the repetitive tasks that just eat up our day, that is all kerf. It's all sawdust on the floor of your life.
And we usually just accept it. We just say, well, that's part of the job.
Right. But the lesson from this experiment in Lake City is that you can step back. You can actually look at that friction and ask, how do I architect this away?
Maybe you need a timer. Maybe you need an email template. Maybe you need a simple AI tool to handle that first layer of communication.
Or maybe you just need the discipline to say, I am not a reactive operator anymore. I am an architect. It's a mindset shift long before it's a technology shift.
It's that realization that innovation doesn't always have to look like a shiny robot. Sometimes innovation looks like a standard GE top loader plugged into a wall timer, managed by an invisible system that lets the owner sleep at night.
That's the real so what for me. It's about using operational precision in the service of a better life.
So here's a question for you to chew on as you go about your day. Look at all the tasks that are draining you, all that manual grit, and ask yourself, if a rural laundromat can use AI to balance charity with profitability, what complex problem in your world could be solved by just tightening the kerf?
Stop scrubbing and start architecting. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
See you next time.